Hello and welcome to this video. This is a different kind of video from my usual, but I've kind of been obsessed with Souls-like challenges videos recently, and I want to do one myself, so why not start on the first Dark Souls and try and beat it as probably one of the coolest characters in the Souls series. So join me while I ask the question, can you beat Dark Souls as Artorias? Roll the intro. Before we start, let's go over the four main rules of this run. Number 1, I can only use Artorias' armour and the sword he uses, also known as the Abyssal Sword. Number 2, I must beat every boss including all the DLC. Number 3, the run must be complete on New Game Plus, otherwise 50% of the game is impossible, so yeah. And finally, rule number 4. I want to have fun doing this run, so I will not put myself through absolute immense pain just to get it complete. Now, that the rules are over, let's begin. I awaken in a cell. As a friendly knight tells me about his epic escape plan. I ignore him and do the this run's first boss, the Arkham Asylum. I killed many Eltree avatars in my time, so he was no worry. And now that the warden was dead, I was able to do my escape plan. But before I reenact the Great Escape, I'm stolen by Emo Big Bird and taken to the Firelink Shrine.
To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords.
Or, as I know it, the place where trees don't show up in cutscenes. Look back, play the game yourself, you can see the cutscene vanishes. The tree vanishes, even. Any veteran of Dark Souls knows the first thing you must do is ring 2 bells. One can be found in the church, and the other in a toxic village. I choose the only correct option, and head to the church, because if you go Blighttown first, you're a crazed psycho. On my way to the church, I encountered the best star sign demon. I started the fight with a plunge. In the middle I ate some crotch, and ended it with super cool and sexy spits. I then ran past a big red bird who had just eaten a curry. I then made it to the second coolest blacksmith, Andre.
Well,
And upgraded my weapon with the demon titanite from the guy who just stares at Andre all day. This was not easy. With this newly acquired upgrade, I am ready for the first main boss of the run, the gargoyles. And I die. And die again. And die some more. I die a lot. And I knew the run couldn't end before it even started. So I pulled some strings and I got a motivational speech from the man himself.
Come on, you useful death shot. I know you can do it. You get him. Get him 1-1-2, kid. Pow, 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 pow. Yeah. We like that. Come on. I believe in you. I know you can do it.
With this newfound motivation, I take one last swing and die. Fuck you, Luke. You have never done any... Oh, I did that. Thanks, Luke. Love you. With the gargoyles gone, I ring the first bell. With the first bell rung, I killed the coolest looking guy in Dark Souls, so I can get another fapping ring that I won't even use, as well as getting the last Firekeeper soul so I can have max flat upgrades, and I head to Blighttown. After running through some super sticky sludge, I make it to the hottest boss in the Souls game, Quelaag, the Spider Mummy. Like, all you need to do is put a bag on the top half, and she's perfect. This fight was easy compared to the gargoyles, and it would have been a first try if I didn't forget she is a literal fucking nuke. The second try will have to do. So I ring the second bell, which awakens the giant who opens the way forward. But before that, let's clean up the first quarter of the game. Hit the montage. I make the discharge cease to exist, I give a demon a Capri Sun, I give a dragon a gaping hole, and I lead a demon astray. With the cleanup complete, we can continue. Where, you ask? Well, to my favourite VTuber's fortress. Of course, knowing there's 6 demon shards in Alondo, I now only need 2 from this fortress, so I killed 2 demons at the bottom of the fortress. Yeah, I didn't record this, so come at me if you're upset, but with those shards, I upgrade my weapon once again. Anyway, now that's done, carrying on with Sen's fortress. I dodge a ball, I dodge another ball, I move a ball, and killed the big boy throwing some exploding balls. This leads me to my personal favourite boss in Dark Souls 1, Tony Stark Smough. Once the broken multiverse character was killed, I was kidnapped once again by 3 skinless flying rat people. But instead of taking me to the hub world, they took me to a place from Dark Souls 3. And I started my Titanite grind by picking up the 2 pieces in the chest by some big manly men. A piece behind some stairs, and finally a piece in the room in a chest where 3 knights turned their threesome into a foursome with how bad they fucked me. As you can probably realise, that's 4 shards, not 6 like I said like 5 minutes ago. Well, I forgot to kill a demon in Analondo and instead decided to kill the one in the catacombs later. Why did I decide this? Well, I forgot that demon existed. So, too bad for me, I guess. I didn't need it anyway, so it's all good. But this was when I found a breakthrough in this run. While I was upgrading my weapon, I saw this little thing that isn't in Elden Ring or Dark Souls 3. Upgrading armour. Yeah, that's a thing, so to make this run more fun for myself, I went on Spotify and played my Olivia Rodrigo playlist and farmed till I had enough souls till I could buy all the resources needed and upgrade my armour to the max. No, that is not a joke, Olivia Rodrigo goes so fucking hard. But alas, 2 hours later, I was ready to go to the boss I struggled with the most in my first run of Dark Souls. The golden duo, Ornstein and Smough. I did them first try. Well, I guess practice does make perfect. With the duo gone, I am able to have my audience with the big bazooga wooga hooga woman, and she gives me the Lord Vessel. And the greatest power in the game, the ability to fast travel across bonfires. So I thank her and her massive assets, and head back to Firelink, and get eaten by a worm man. I place the Lord Vessel on its pedestal, and I can proceed. I now must get the 4 Lord Souls. Even though all 4 are currently accessible, I'm not allowed to do one, as there is something I want to do to get a certain cutscene first. Some of you might know what I'm on about, but all will be clear later on. So, out of the 3 possible lords, I choose to do Nito the Grave Lord first. Why? I don't know why, because why not, I guess. So I head over to the catacombs and kill the final demon to get the final titanite I need to upgrade my weapon to the max. And I head over to a boss that may just be a bit too hard to beat, because he is a really big pin in my side. After that easy ass boss fight, I head over to the actual Lord of the Grave, Nito. Knowing the hardest part of this boss was his minions, especially the giant ones, I let him come to me, so they didn't engage me. I died once because body blocking, but my second attempt I did better and had a neat time defeating this Grave Lord. With 1 Lord down, I moved on to the next, so I headed over to where I once killed some ceaseless discharge and came across a demon that must have done something really well, because he was on fire. But I stopped his hot streak after he spammed his butt slam a little too much. So I could make my way over to the next lord, I had to gain the ability to walk on lava, and the only way to do that is to kill a centipede, so that's what I did. After he got confused and started playing on his pogo stick, like, what the fuck? Why is he jumping so fucking much? Explain to me, please. Once he was taken down, with my newly acquired ring, I made my way to the Lord of Gimmicks, the Bed of Chaos. I took the first weak point out easily. and for some ungodly reason I found it so hard to get the second boot thing. But I got it eventually. And I made my way to the centre of this fiery tree and put this chaos to bed once and for all. Before I make my way to the next wall, I had to do some prep work. This entailed killing the most buggy enemy of all, the Hydra. This took me way too long. The last head is always so annoying to hit, but with the Hydra gone, I was able to save Dusk from the Golden Golem. With her saved, I was one step closer to the DLC. But before that, I had one more lord to take out. So I went back to Anor Londo and made my way to the Duke's archives, and killed the Crystal Golem and stole his broken pendant from the DLC. And I made my way to the next lord's seat, and he imprisoned me in his jail for having immortality. So I broke out of jail once again and got my revenge by breaking into his house. Destroying his prized possessions and killing him, making this seat no more. With that done, one more lord stood, but they would have to play, because it's time for another cleanup montage. Hit it! I play Mario 64 real quick. And find a woman with very nice feet, nice eyes. I then run after and kill Harry Potter if he was a femboy. That was a short montage, but it's now time for the DLC. I went back to where I saved Dusk and found a funny little portal, but before I could do anything, a weird magic monster man gave me a handjob that satisfied me so much I woke up in the past. Easy, and I came across the first and easiest boss of the DLC. And just as fast as I laughed, the fight was over in a minute, and Sarah from Melring was dead. The same will not be said for the rest of this segment of the DLC, because the next boss is myself. And this fight was most definitely the hardest of the run. After I think 2 hours of attempts, I took a break because Celebrity Big Brother was on. 1 hour and a half break, I came back and did my will. And the first attempt back of the attempt where Artorias killed Artorias. That's kind of confusing, isn't it? I was the Artorias doing the killing for once, and that was most definitely the hardest fight of this run. So with adrenaline pumping through my veins, I followed a magic teleporting cat that took me to a doggy with a sword that was being harassed. Being the amazing man I am, I killed those harassers and saved the good girl. She then telepathically told me she would protect me for even in death. Shortly after that, she vanished. I wonder if I'll see her again. But with that done, I was done with the DLC, for the moment. So I went back to the present to take down the last lord, the Four Kings. But to do that, I needed a ring that allows me to traverse the abyss. So I headed to the forest. That seemed very familiar, but I couldn't quite place why. But I have to do every boss, and I need souls for an item. It was time to do the worst boss in this game, the boring ass Moonlight Butterfly. Like, who said, I know, let's add a Zona boss to our game. Like, just look how slow and boring this fight is. I won't show the full fight, but I did it on my first attempt with late game gear and stats, but it still took me 6.5 minutes because the stupid ass boss just doesn't come down. Fucking hate this boss, man. But with the souls it dropped, I was able to buy the crest of myself. Not normal, is it? But then again, I did just kill myself. So, but Sif is the one who has it the worst. She must be so confused, as she must protect the grave of Artorias from Artorias. But she knows her duty. She knows she has to protect Artorias, even in death. And I know I must complete this run. So we had an epic battle that would make even the manliest of men cry. As Sif lived, I swung my sword with tears in my eyes and put the very good girl I once saved down for good. Her death would not be in vain. So I took the ring, and I made my way to the new Rondo ruins, and took a key from a man in red, that I then used to drain the ruins. I put the ring I got from Siphon and plunged into the abyss and came face to face with the last lord, the Four Kings. This fight wasn't anything special, but for some reason the Four Kings became 5 and the last king gave me a hug fit for a king in his last breath. I guess he was feeling lonely or something. With all 4 Lord souls in my possession, there was only 3 bosses left. So I head back to the DLC in the past and talk to this very cool blind giant. He told me about this big black bird in the sky. I said, try me. So we became the greatest tag team duo Lordran ever did see. He shot down the big black bird. And I cut its ankles until it finally, Callum, meets its end. Next on my to-do list is to get my revenge on the handjob man. So I made my way back to the abyss, and I stupidly left myself open once again. and Manus gave me another hand job. In a fit of rage, I beat him to a pulp, and by the time he decided to use any of his magic, he was already dead, and I cut off his monstrous hand so he could never give a hand job again. I also said hi to Dusk. DLC complete, there's only one thing left to do, so I get Ethan once again and deposit all 4 Lord souls into the Lord vessel to open the door to the final area of the game, the kiln of the first flame. And I head to the final boss of Dark Souls, Gwyn, the Lord of Cinder. Out of all 6 Soul-like games I have played, there has only been one final boss that I have struggled with. So I was not scared of this fight, and that was the right option, because after a few attempts I was successful. No matter what anyone says, this proves that it is possible to defeat Gwyn as Artorias Parrius, okay? If they fucking say no, because they showed you his fucking clip, they can fuck off, okay? It's fucking possible. Because that should not have happened. And most likely because I had just done Calamy and Manus all in one sitting. My patience was running thin, and I just decided that counted, so I was allowed to parry Gwyn. If you have a problem with that, I say shut up. You know it's possible from that last fucking attempt, so shut up and let's run it back. I parried Gwyn one final time. And as the motivational words of Luke rang in the back of my mind, I plunged my blade into Gwyn's body, proving that yes, you can beat Dark Souls as Artorias. I actually really enjoyed this challenge. It's the first one I've tried and stayed true to, and it was actually really fun. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to see more videos like this, let me know and tell me what I should do next. And with that, I have one last thing to say. Roll the credits.